Max, the scrawny tabby with patches of fur missing and ribs that showed through his thin coat, sat shivering in the alleyway behind the bustling market, watching hungry-eyed as vendors shouted their prices and customers haggled over fresh produce. It was on one particularly cold morning when Max noticed a small hen wandering away from a poultry stall, laying an egg before scurrying back to her crate. And though his first instinct was to pounce and feast on this unexpected bounty, something held him back, a flickering thought that grew brighter with each passing second. Why eat one meal when I could have many? So instead of devouring the egg, Max carefully rolled it towards a hidden corner where he covered it with a discarded newspaper, and for the next few days, Max's keen eyes tracked the wandering hens, collecting their stray eggs one by one until he had amassed a small treasure of 6 perfectly intact eggs. On the 7th day, with hunger gnawing at his belly but determination burning brighter, Max executed his plan by delicately arranging the eggs in an abandoned wooden crate lined with soft material he'd scavenged and positioned himself near the busiest entrance of the market, where an old woman who sold hand-knitted scarves always set up shop. Max meowed loudly, catching her attention before nudging the crate of eggs towards her with his nose. And the old woman, amused by this peculiar cat's behavior, examined the eggs, fresh and unblemished, and placed a small coin and a piece of fish beside Max before taking the eggs. Max's whiskers twitched with excitement as he realized his plan had worked, and while the fish satisfied his immediate hunger, it was the coin that made his green eyes gleam with possibility. Over the following weeks, Max refined his operation, tracking more hens, collecting more eggs, and making his exchanges with not just the old woman but other vendors who soon came to recognize the entrepreneurial feline, with some even leaving out scraps and empty crates specifically for Max's eggs as his little business became known throughout the market. Max, growing plumper and healthier with each successful transaction, became clever about his investments, using part of his earnings, which kind vendors kept in a small jar for him, to bribe the butcher's boy to leave the chicken coop unlocked at night, giving Max access to premium eggs. And soon Max's reputation spread beyond the market as customers specifically asked for those lucky eggs from the cat vendor, believing they had special properties since they came from such an unusual source. 6 months later, Max was unrecognizable from the poor stray he once was. His coat gleamed in the sunlight, a custom-made collar with a small pouch for his coins hung around his neck, and he'd even managed to negotiate, through a series of persistent meows and strategic gifts, a small covered stall of his own where his growing team of 3 stray cats he'd recruited helped run what had become Max's Premium Farm Fresh Eggs. What truly cemented Max's success was when the mayor's wife, having heard of the remarkable cat entrepreneur, purchased his eggs for a prestigious dinner party and declared them the finest she'd ever tasted, after which Max's business expanded. Dramatically, he acquired a small chicken farm through his human business manager, who had been the old woman from his first sale, hired actual humans to work for him, who understood that the unusually intelligent cat was indeed the boss, and developed a premium line of organic free-range eggs that were sold in fancy packaging, featuring his now iconic face. 10 years after that first collected egg, Max, the once poor stray cat who had been fighting for survival, lounged on a velvet cushion in his custom-built cat mansion overlooking his egg empire, wearing a tiny tailored vest with gold buttons, while reviewing sales reports presented in picture form by his devoted staff, proving to the world that with creativity, persistence, and 9 lives' worth of business savvy, even the most unlikely entrepreneur could claw their way to the top.